Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Bros Who Know, Irrefutably Authentic. Dr. Jeff LaCure, once again with Richard Yancey, the Dark Knight, the Count Chocula, the Johnny Cash, a podcast here for you again today. We try to stay current with a lot of things we talk about, and God love any of you. I'm going to call you out right now. God love any of you who voted a Democrat for our governor, because you get what you deserve. And I hope you saw last week our illustrious governor here in the state of Massachusetts decided to deal with the illegal alien crisis in Massachusetts, Rich. You know how she decided to deal with it? She decided to deal with it by asking citizens of the Commonwealth to open up their home to all the illegal aliens because, A, there's not enough housing anymore, which we're going to talk a lot about today and why housing rents are so damn high, and B, over 6,000 illegal aliens are in our hotel rooms right now, Rich, as we speak, being paid by our tax dollar. So instead of saving money on our tax dollar, I don't know what your state tax return was, but when I saw mine, I shuddered a little bit. And now I'm pissed because I know a portion of my tax dollars going to somebody staying in a hotel on the taxpayer dime. See, Rich, I know for a fact if you and I went to, say, France or anywhere in Europe, especially Hungary, there's no way in hell they'd say, you're a U.S. citizen? Yes, I am. You snuck into our country without a passport? You just snuck in? You swam across the ocean? Yes, I did. Well, I tell you what. You know what I'm going to do for you, Rich? Because this doesn't happen. I'm going to put you up in a hotel. I'm going to give you a cell phone. I'm going to educate your child. I'm going to make sure that you have plenty to eat. And then we're going to provide you health care at no cost. Now, I know I'm getting long-winded, just to put it in context. Folks, you didn't know this. Welcome to Massachusetts, where dreams go to die, or at least your taxpayers' hard-earned money. We are the only state in the country, look it up, folks, we're the only state in the country that has a law passed that says we are a right to housing state. We are a right to education state, which means, just to break it down for our viewers, Rich, and I'd be curious what some of your thoughts are, that if you come to this state, no matter how you come to this state, including unlawfully, you have not gone through the legal immigration status to be here. You're illegal. You have come somewhere from another country. You were undocumented. You decided, I'm above the law. You come to this state, and we have to, by law, we're the only state in the country that does this, we have to provide you housing. And if you have children, we have to provide your children an education. I got a lot more numbers, a lot more thoughts on it, Rich, but I don't want to get too far out there. What's some of your thoughts, particularly as you think about, Rich, I've seen pictures of your place, man. You got room. You got a few extra bedrooms in there, Rich. You gonna open it up?
Jeff, you're passionate about this one, Jeff.
Very.
And you're showing it today.
Very.
Jeff, I don't mind. So look, if everyone's doing well, right? Share the wealth. If everyone's doing well, and our own people weren't homeless and in camps, living down the streets.
Veterans.
Yes, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. Of course. If we were fat, if every American was fat, and we were over, feeding ourselves, and we had abundance of everything, and we wasn't worried about anything, yeah, why not help? But we have the encampments, the homeless people around the country. It's skyrocketed.
It's embarrassing, actually.
We have, right now, interest rates are up. People can't afford food. People can't afford rent. People can't afford housing.
Right. That's right.
and they're cutting school. Like there's a lot of school things are getting cut because of not enough funding. When you have these kinds of things, how dare you? How dare you use the little that we have on someone that's not in this country? Because you can't give if you don't have anything to give.
That's right.
So the little bit we have to give, you want us to give to a perfect stranger. I'm telling you, you have neighborhoods that need help, that need to help each other, and you want us to just, stop what we're doing to try to help someone that doesn't live in our country.
No.
So that's a problem. I think at the very beginning we need to help our own first. Now if this was different, listen, help the homeless.
Right.
Help the homeless, try to find a house for the homeless. But how can we find homes for the immigrants when we don't even have homes for the homeless?
Correct. And actually, if I could highlight that, Rich, another important point, you're right. I'm really passionate about it, and here's why. And I have one reason. As a person, I have a pet peeve. It's my number one pet peeve. I don't like being jerked around. I don't care what it is. I don't want to be jerked around. And I and others, we're being jerked around, right? I hate when people do this, so I sort of hate myself because I'm going to do it. But I think it fits the narrative, and I want to highlight what you're talking about. I'm an immigrant. I'm first generation to this country. I'm not doing this. I'm not saying I'm better than or worse than. I did it the right way. I was born in Germany. My parents adopted me. Military family, right? My passport has my German name on it, my initial passport. And they had to wait to bring me to this country. Now, this was in the 60s. And even then, they had to wait. I was their legal son. And they had to wait because there was a process that you had to follow, right? And here I sit. They didn't have to wait a long time, but they had to wait. They weren't able to just adopt me. The ink dried, and they hopped on a plane and right from Germany and brought me here. So I think I could speak for you on this. We're not anti-immigration.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right? And I'm not saying illegal aliens are bad people. What I'm saying is I don't like to be jerked around. And I don't want to pay for somebody who didn't do it the right way. Can I highlight some numbers for you, Rich, about
Absolutely.
Just in the state of Massachusetts, the numbers that we're talking about? We're talking, these are estimates, because a lot of illegal aliens, and yes, I'm going to use that term because I'm not politically correct. I'm honest. I'm not going to call them undocumented migrants. They broke the law, right? Go to Hungary and see what happens, by the way. They process you in a day, and they kick you out. And if you come back, they arrest you and they imprison you. They have no illegal immigration problem there at all because they do it the right way. They're not paying illegals millions and billions of dollars. To the point. It's estimated right now in the state of Massachusetts we have up to 500,000 people who are here illegally. Right now. We have 200,000 illegal immigrants are about to get their driver's license. Now when you show an ID in Massachusetts, it opens the door to a lot of different things, right? It cost you and I, Rich, to get the licenses and the program for the illegal aliens, $28 million. Who's paying that? They're not paying it. It's our taxpayers' thing. We spend right now $14,000 a year on average in the state of Massachusetts per pupil to educate them. $14,000 a year. It's estimated, because again, we don't know for sure that these are low numbers, that there are 20,000 illegal immigrant children in our public schools right now. Multiply 20,000 times 14,000. Who's picking up the tab? Who's picking up the tab?
Well, you already know who's picking up the tab.
We know who's picking up the tab. And what happens is, again, I'm not saying their lives don't have value. I'm saying there's a way to do it. And it should not be on the back of taxpayers, right? It should not be on the back of taxpayers. You and I are not going to be able to sneak into another country and have our housing, our meals, our health care, and our education provided for. And this is why when you say, wow, Jeff, you're really passionate, I just don't like being jerked around, and I don't like being lied to. And you know what else I hate that happens, Rich? And it's going to happen as a result of our podcast. You and I, probably more me, because I'm a little more fired up about it, which is cool, right? I'm going to be told that I'm a racist. I'm going to be told that I have some sort of phobia, right? I have some kind of ism. Well, the only phobia I have, Rich, is being jerked around. I have jerked around ism, jerked around phobia, right? I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to go into a market basket anymore. Can I tell you a quick story just happened to me? Market basket, shame on you. I won't mention where it was necessarily, but I will mention the story. Market basket. Folks, go into a market basket and just ask yourself, are the majority of shoppers there here legally? And are the majority of people who are working stocking the shelves, working the cash register, or bagging the groceries, do they have their legal documentation to do it? And by the way, Rich, why do we have so many illegals in this country? Because of cash? But they average $8 an hour. So big corporations are going, hey, Rich, I could pay you and Jeff 15 to 20 bucks an hour, or I could pay them cash under the table for $8 an hour. Big reason, big draw. And plus, free housing, free health care, the list goes on and on. So I'm at the grocery store the other day, Rich. I ran out of Van's pancakes. Those are high protein, high quality pancakes, Rich. I went in and I got a few boxes. And I go through the line. The woman ringing up my groceries, speaking in Spanish. The woman bagging my groceries, speaking in Spanish. That right there annoyed me. Because last time I checked, I'm in an English-speaking country and I'm in an English-speaking store in an English-speaking town, right? Not saying you can't speak your language, but when you're in the community and you're servicing the community, you speak the language of the community. So that was strike one. Strike two, I didn't get greeted. Didn't get a hey, hello. And at the end of it, checking out with my Van's pancakes, I was fired up to have them after a workout, Rich. Little gutsies on top of them. No syrup for me, Rich. She hands me the receipt. These two just continued to talk and laugh, talk and laugh, talk and laugh. No, have a good day. I went right up to the front desk supervisor and said, here's the deal. I wasn't greeted. I wasn't given a goodbye. And the entire time, they spoke in their native tongue, and they didn't speak in English. And they talked to each other instead of speaking to the customer. I said, your store's got to be better than that.
Well, let me ask you a question. How do you know they were immigrants? Well, how do you know if they were illegal immigrants?
Well, obviously, I don't know for sure, right? Do I know for sure? No. But I know the community. I know the community. And I know the demographics of the community, Rich. And again, I'm not a fool. I know you're not accusing me of one. And I don't like being lied to and jerked around. We know, according to the statistics, where the majority of illegal immigrants are working. They're working in the service industry, and they're working in landscaping and so on. I might be wrong. They might be here legally. They came and they did everything the right way. And if they did, I'd be the first one to apologize on camera. But I also know statistically, now that we know we have about 30 million illegal immigrants in this country, probably a pretty good guess, right? Probably a fair guess. And I will say this, I'm glad you asked that question, Rich. A lot of my grad students are first or second generation Hispanic students here legally, either here for the education or they're U.S. citizens. And they'll tell you flat out, the thing that drives them nuts the most about illegal immigration is that people assume they're illegal immigrants, right? Which is why most Hispanics, when you actually look at the surveys, will tell you that they're leading the fight against illegal immigration. They recognize it's not good for the country. I got long-winded about that one. Market basket, shame on you. What you got?
Like I said, my biggest gripe with the whole situation is that we have to, as Americans, we have to treat the Americans first. I'm telling Americans, American people right now are hurting.
Hurting.
In so many different directions. I'm telling you, financially they're hurting.
That's right.
Interest rates. I'm telling you, the interest rates are outrageous. I don't even understand how, most people could survive in this day and age. What's interesting is that the interest rate's up and the housing market's up.
That's right.
So, that's a double whammy.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I'm telling you, a $500,000 house, which is pretty much the medium. That mortgage used to be about $1,200 a month, $1,200 to $1,500 a month. Now it's like $2,500 a month.
That's
It's
before
huge.
taxes and everything,
Yeah,
right?
that's huge. So a lot of
Right.
people, so a lot of Americans are hurting, and when you talk about immigrants, it's like putting salt on the wound, because you have all these Americans, especially and look, California's falling apart. California looks like a third world country.
It sure does.
New York looks like a third world country.
It sure does.
I'm telling you, a lot of these cities were beautiful cities,
And beautiful states.
beautiful states, and it's just a shame that we're not investing in that. That's where our money should be going to.
That's right.
To the Americans, Jeff.
I'll tell you, here's why I probably won't get elected. Certainly not in Massachusetts, because I don't drink the Kool-Aid. And I think Massachusetts is a really cool state. It's one of the most beautiful states in the country. There's a lot of wonderful people here from all backgrounds and from all political affiliations. This isn't a broad brush. But I got no shot of ever getting elected here because I don't drink the Kool-Aid. And it's embarrassing that there will be people who push back on us about, we are talking really citizens first. Take care. Like, if you have everybody squared away, right? That's what immigration was supposed to be. You have everybody squared away. Immigration originally for this country was give us the best and the brightest from all different countries. The best and the brightest, right? And that's what sort of built our foundation as a country. It is a country of immigrants. It's kind of cool, right? But it was majority a country of legal immigrants who decided to do things the right way. I mean, it's in Massachusetts, it's no longer the right way. And to me, there's got to be a reason behind it, right? This isn't about people being kind. This has nothing to do with kindness.
Well, speaking of being kind, I'm talking, what's being kind of taking people in, right? They don't have anywhere to go, and now they're homeless.
Correct.
Listen, because it's bad when you have to ask people to take this on, right?
Never thought I'd see that day, Rich.
When you at that point, when you ask that, it failed.
Right.
So you're at that point, it failed. Straight up, it just failed.
Yeah.
So, you're not. This is supposed to be the land of opportunity, right?
That's right. Done the right way.
And either way, it's supposed to be land of opportunity, and it's not the land of opportunity anymore. I'm talking about, like I said, right now, American people are hurting right now.
That's
and
right.
It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot to change that. I'm talking about, like I said, the most beautiful cities, in the world was like New York City, right? That was probably one of the beautiful, and it's a shithole now.
Oh, it's bad.
Chicago is like a war zone.
Chicago just killed itself, didn't it?
California, I'm talking about, how many cities in California that were beautiful that's totally
Not
destroyed?
beautiful. And we're not saying it's all because of illegal immigration.
No, we're just saying.
But it has certainly played a role. See, this is why I won't be elected in this state, Rich. And I may at some point, as weird as it sounds, I may run for some office because I'm tired of being jerked around. And here's why I won't get voted for. Some people will. But the majority of sort of the liberal kind of out there. See, liberal used to be a cool term. It's been redefined. So I'm talking about that out there.
Right.
And we get a lot of that in Massachusetts now. Here's what I would do. Instantly I would do it. If you're in this state illegally, we will not educate you. Your kid cannot go to school. If you're in our state illegally, you don't get tuition reduction like Massachusetts citizens get going to state colleges. You will be turned away in health care. We're not going to give you health care. We're not going to give you a debit card so you can go into Market Basket and get your groceries. We're not giving you anything. We're not putting you up in a hotel, right? What we will do is we will deport you immediately. And the cost of deportation, I love when people argue this. The cost of a plane ticket, one way, is far less than it costs to educate one student for a year, over $14,000. If I were president, borders would be very different. I'd have armed guards on both North and South, and people would do it the right way or it doesn't happen. I would hold other countries accountable. I would hold other countries
listen,
accountable and say, stop sending your people here.
I get it, Jeff, but like I said, like there's two sides to a story, so I'll shoot it through the hip, so you can.
Yep.
So what you're saying is, it makes sense, but you're not in on the agenda, so you don't know what the agenda is. So you're saying this.
I suspect what
being
the agenda
but
is.
you're saying this being not being mindful that there is an agenda out there.
Big agenda.
And number two is
Say it though, Rich. What's the agenda? Because you know what it is.
Listen, let me tell you something.
You're a bright man. You know what the agenda is.
So I'm not going to say it, and I'm going to tell you why. Being turned around with blindfold on, right, and then try to throw a dot at a dartboard, try to hit center. You're going to miss it. I'm talking. I have no idea. They're hiding it. They're not. No one's discussing it. But this is what I can tell you, Jeff. You're passionate about this, and I get it.
So
right?
passionate.
But what I'm saying to you is, Jeff, is that all those illegal immigrants, they got jam scammed. They were promised a lot of stuff. It takes
They got a lot of stuff.
Listen, they didn't get. They're homeless.
Well, not right now.
A lot of them, yeah. A lot
Some
of
of them are sitting in a Holiday Inn right now.
They're sitting in a Holiday Inn, but their future's not. I'm telling you, you have a lot of angry Americans because of it. You know what I mean? They
And
put
what
them
are
in a
those angry
situation.
Americans being told to do with the anger?
It doesn't. I know, but it doesn't make a
Just
difference.
say nothing,
It doesn't
right?
make it. You think you're the only one that's angry about this?
No, a lot of people.
What I'm saying to you
but you know
is-
what you and I are doing, Rich?
Right.
At least we're speaking up.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is that you have an immigrant right now, right? Illegal immigrant that came here with a lot of promises, and they are disappointed. Believe me, they're not getting. They're not happy. I'm just telling you, they're
go
not.
in the
They're
Market
not.
Basket and Walmart and tell me they don't look happy.
I'm telling you right now, brother. They came here thinking. Okay, put it to you this way, right? About 25 years ago, if you were a legal immigrant coming here, you have a lot less amount of people coming.
We did have less.
Okay, less.
A lot less.
And that person was tap dancing. Okay. Now it's getting flooded. So when it's flooded, none of them are special anymore. When it was a small, minute, they were special. Now it's a tragedy having all these people. And when you have all these people coming in, no matter what nationality they are, no matter what's going on.
Yeah, I don't care what nationality.
If they're
I don't
illegal,
care.
right? American people are upset about it because especially now we're in a situation. I told you that American people are suffering. You know what I mean?
time.
So, just think about it. They're here, but they're not here with Americans saying, hello, how are you? Like with a great attitude. Most Americans are very upset about this whole situation.
Right.
And
that's
they're going
why-
through this. They're going through that. I'm telling you, while you're saying it, you have your nice jeans on. You got look at you got matching socks. You got
I'm
your
not
muscles
messing
showing.
around. I'm not messing around today, Rich.
Some of them are split up from their family. Some of them are.
By their choice.
It doesn't matter.
They
They're
didn't.
not-
If they don't cross, you come.
I understand, but it takes
you
two
come
to tango.
legally.
But what I'm saying
you're not
is,
split
it
up
takes.
with your family.
What I'm saying is, it takes two to tango. Sometimes telling someone no is better than saying yes.
Oh, I
Meaning
agree.
this,
I tell them no.
Meaning this, if you say no, right? Okay, if you said no, then even though it might be hard where they have to go back, you just saved them a lot of grief being here. Because there's grief right now. Trust me, they're gonna have a lot of grief.
Not enough. I'll tell you. I'm telling you, if I was
Well,
president,
how about
you know what
this?
else? You know what
You
else I
wouldn't
would
be
do?
able, if you went to one of those encampments, you wouldn't be able to live.
No, but I'm here legally, Rich.
No, what I'm saying is,
That's what I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying is, no, what I'm saying is, if you went to one of the encampments,
It's
right?
not an encampment. It's a hotel.
Some of them, no, a lot of them. If
And
they're
now they
asking
want to
you-
put people in people's homes.
Right, but that place, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be anywhere that we want to be. I wouldn't stay in any of those homeless encampments. You
No,
wouldn't
I
stay in-
realize it, but they
No, what-
they shouldn't be there.
All right,
to
but what
begin
I'm
with.
saying to you is that as leaders, this is what I'm saying to you, Jeff. As leaders, Jeff, right, we have to lead the people.
That's
okay?
right. And how are we doing
And
it right now?
When people, any kind of person that needs help, usually, is because they have lack of what? Knowledge. Okay, and when they have lack of knowledge, they expect the leaders to have that knowledge to help them out.
What's it say?
Right?
What's it say about our leaders, Rich?
No, but that's what I'm saying. So when
Yeah.
you say that, when you make a stand saying that you won't let illegals in, you will put certain protocols in, right?
Yeah.
To make sure you're leading, but you're also what you're doing is you're giving it value, meaning this.
That's right.
You take the proper channels, you do it the proper way.
That's right.
And then that's the prize.
That's right.
Okay? And some of I'm talking about in that prize, I'm talking about,
It's a great prize.
only a certain percent's going to do that. But
That's
what
right.
I'm saying to you
Beautiful
is,
prize.
when you let everyone in,
That's right.
Right? You're not leading.
That's right.
And they come with false hopes. I'm telling you, they come with false hopes, think that everything is going to be great. They can't wait to get here. They die trying to get here.
Many do. Isn't that crazy?
And they get here and they greet it with this. This is not a great, this is not a great, this is not the prize at the end of the tunnel, because they don't have any place to put these people, Jeff. There's no place. When you're putting them in the hotels, that's not a permanent solution. That's a temporary solution.
We have a permanent place to put them, which
No, we
is
don't.
back on the plane, see you bye.
Right, but what I'm saying is, as I hear right now, there's no, there's
Correct.
no.
There are none. So I'll highlight two quick things.
Right.
One of the reasons that rents are so high, this is documented, even the Department of Labor and HUD have putting out these numbers because they're trying to figure out why are rents so expensive. Well, when you got over 20 million illegal aliens in this country, and quite frankly, that's a low number, right? That's a low number. The estimates are much higher. They got to live somewhere, right? And there are people who own properties who are like, hey, I can get money under the table, because a lot of times illegal aliens pay with cash, right? Because they're living in the shadows a little bit. They still sometimes worry about deportation. Look at those numbers. It drives up rents. And then you have the other kind of business owner, the landlord, who goes, wait a minute. So I got people here who are here legally who want housing. There's a housing shortage. I can now jack up the price.
That's one.
Right?
Another reason, because people can't buy houses.
Exactly. So they're looking at alternatives. Again, I'm going to say it on camera, and I will never get elected probably because I say it, but at least I'm honest. I'm not going to BS people. If I were the president or the governor or in any official capacity like that where I have some say, I would immediately file an amendment that if you are here illegally and you have a child on this soil, that child is not given U.S. citizenship. Right now, that's the law. So if you sneak over the border at 9.5 months pregnant and the next day you deliver, your child is now considered a U.S. citizen, and by default, then the family is now considered, right? Because we don't try not to separate families. I'm telling you, Rich, when you make it doable for people and you throw all the free goodies, right, and you turn your right, talk to Border Patrol. I wish we could get some on our podcast. People are coming in droves. Right. And again, I want to be clear, because there's going to be some yo-yo out there, Rich, who calls me a racist or a xenophobe or something, and you know my core. And by the way, folks, legal immigrants sitting right here did it the right way. My parents did it the right way.
Yeah, your parents did.
So here's the deal. We got, Border Patrol people who are going, we're being overwhelmed. And again, so that I'm not called a racist and a xenophobe, call me whatever the hell you want. I know what's in my heart. We have people here from all countries, right? We have people from all countries. It's not just South America, Central American countries coming up, with people coming up, Rich. That's sort of the perception. We got people coming from African nations, from Russia. We got people coming from China. We got a lot of people coming from Europe. We got people coming from all over who are going, you know what? The election's coming in 2024. Things might change. Now's the time. This isn't skin color for me. This isn't country of origin for me. Remember, I'm from another country, and I love our country. This is about doing it the right way.
Right, and let me tell you something. Like I said, Jeff, I get where you're going with this. I understand what you're saying, but you can expect, like, if I throw cheese out there, right, and you're like, listen, if I and there's a whole bunch of rats, I go get the cheese. If you said, oh, all these rats going to get the cheese, like I would make sure that they wouldn't eat the cheese. If you allow it and you have people to come and do it, who's the problem, Jeff? Is it the immigrants or is it us?
Both.
No, if you open up the gates, they're gonna come.
That's what I'm saying. But it's both.
But that's not their fault. Of course they're gonna. If you were there, you would come. If me and you were in another country, Okay, and
100%.
it was a shit country.
100%.
And we know that the gates open and
the cheese on the ground?
Yeah, we're gonna go.
I'm coming.
All right. So at that same thing, that's not our fault. That's because
No, I hold
the
them
accountable.
I
tell you what. I tell you the only people I hold accountable is us. We have to do a better job managing this country. Okay, it's been mismanaged, just like any business. Okay?
Oh, real mismanaged.
It's like any business. We're doing bad. As a business, we're doing bad. I'm telling you, there's more people every day. There's people that's out of work every day. That there's people. There's more people moving in the homeless areas. You got to think of it like this: every human being, every human in America. Okay, I'm telling you, we're an employee of the government. Think about it like that. Think about.
And they're supposed to work for us.
When we work, no, basically, when we work, the more money you make, Jeff, in
That's
theory,
right.
the more money they make in
That's
taxes.
right.
Okay,
That's right.
You have a social security number.
That's
all
right.
That's not for you.
That's right.
That's to identify you so you can pay taxes.
That's right.
All right. So think of it like this.
That's right.
It's mismanaged. You have a hole here, right, where all these people who are working are going, and a lot of people are becoming homeless. And then you have a huge hole here where we're flooding in people who are just going to take from the government.
That's right.
Okay? It's
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's mismanaged, right? You got to shrink this hole here. Why would a government want more people to be homeless? They're not making any money.
And they don't vote. Homeless people don't vote, Rich.
Right, but it doesn't matter.
Think about
what
it.
I'm saying to you is, if you had a business, you try your retention. You want to keep the retention that you have.
That's right.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, there's two things going on when you and I talk. All right, there's what you called is common sense, which you have and I have, right? And things don't make sense. So if things don't make sense and we have common sense, that means two things: we're either misinformed or there's an agenda.
And there's both going on.
Exactly.
Right.
So what I'm saying to you is this: these immigrants got jam scammed. They're here. They're being hated on, right? You and I, if we were them and we saw the cheese, we'd be coming too. The point is that they shouldn't be able to come.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Take the cheese
it's not
away.
like, listen, they're not. They're walking in just like, okay, you know what? Two things are going on. You're talking about that, but people are stealing now. They're going into stores, walking and grabbing things and walking out because no one's doing anything.
That's right.
Okay, it's the same thing.
That's right.
If you that's a license to steal. That's a license to come over this country.
That's right.
When you allow all
They're
these
both
people,
breaking the law.
They're not breaking the law if you allow it.
No, it is. It's breaking the law.
How is it breaking the law if you allow it?
If you own the store, Rich,
Right.
and some dude rips you off, and you turn your back, you just allowed it.
Yeah, but that is.
See, you wouldn't do that as a store owner. You'd take a stick.
Yeah, but listen. If you do that enough, right? So if there's a stop sign and there's a whole bunch of people going through the stop sign, and the police drive by and they don't do anything about it.
That's right.
One person gets pulled over,
That's
right,
right.
and gets a ticket. You can fight that ticket. Say, listen, everyone goes by that stop.
That's right.
Okay. When enough people go by that stop sign's irrelevant at that point. When enough immigrants are crossing the border and there's no repercussions, that means that there's no law.
That's right.
Okay, when there's no law, when you don't
laws,
back up,
no what?
If you don't back up your law,
You got no country.
All right, but if you don't back up your law, the law is non-existent.
That's right.
Okay, so and then you devalued what it meant to be a citizen.
Exactly.
Right, but whose fault is that though, Jeff?
We have to force a line. Anyone who voted Democrat, any Republicans who are stepping up
so
and
let me ask you a
doing what
question.
they need to do.
When you said anyone who votes Democrat,
I
who's
hold
the
them
anyone?
accountable.
Yeah, but who's the anyone?
Anyone who voted for him, I hold them accountable.
Okay, but what are they? What's the anyone?
I'm going to look in the camera for this one, but I'm going to respond to you. I hold Governor Healey accountable for being stupid enough to ask Massachusetts citizens to open up their door to illegal aliens when we have homeless veterans who have fought for the security to allow us, Rich and I, to have our opinions on camera.
Right.
That's who I hold accountable.
Okay, so when you say you hold the people accountable that voted,
Yeah.
who are those people?
Dumbasses.
They're Americans, Jeff.
That's right.
Okay, they're Americans, and because we have freedom of speech, we have the right to vote.
I support. I support it.
Right to vote, right?
Yes.
That's your brothers and sisters.
And I support them.
Right. That's
I
your
support them
brothers and
being
sisters.
dumbass. I want them to be dumbasses
Right.
and vote.
Okay. So
but
what
then
I'm saying,
I call them out
right.
when they do
What
it.
I'm saying to you is this: if we keep pointing fingers at each other as Americans, right? then we're not solving the problem. The problem that we have is we got to unite. That's one.
Not happening, but I wish you were right,
yeah,
Rich.
We have to unite.
Yep.
And two, if we do not govern the borders, it's not anyone else's fault. It's
right.
our fault.
I agree with you
we
on
have
that,
to
Rich.
take responsibility.
I agree with you on that.
We have to take responsibility. Otherwise, we'll do a lot of finger pointing.
Right.
And that doesn't do anything.
But what are you and I doing today?
I tell you what. Right
We're
now,
calling out the absurdity, aren't we?
well, we're calling out. What we're saying is this: smarten up.
Yes.
Because the the truth of the matter is, Jeff, we can bring as many immigrants they are. They're not going to have a better life than the American citizen. And the American citizen are having it tough right now.
American citizens aren't living in hotels for free.
Listen,
I mean, some are,
okay,
but not
listen,
like it is right now.
But when you're living in a hotel, that's not a home, Jeff. And that's a temporary.
It's a lot better than living on the damn street, Rich.
I understand that, but still, it's not living. That's not being a healthy human being.
You can't feel good knowing your tax dollars, right, are going from some dude to have a pool.
No, I'm not.
Who's not here legally.
I'm not, but I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming us. We got to do a better job. Listen, let me tell you something, right? If I had customers coming in and they just not paying for food,
right,
that's not different. I'm not going to get mad at all the customers not paying for their food. I'm going to get mad at my staff for making sure that they don't get paid.
I like that. See, I like that. And
right?
you and I are doing, and then we got to wrap just because of time, but you and I are doing something different than a lot of people who talk about this.
Right.
They kvetch and moan and groan. You and I have given some specific examples about specific solutions, right? We've actually gone on camera today, Rich, and not just said, hey, this is awful, this is bad.
Right.
We've thrown out solutions. And you also, as sort of the icing on the cake, you're also holding this country
accountable for it. Absolutely.
Right? It's beautiful.
Who destroyed California? We did. Who destroyed
Because we
New
allowed
York? We did.
Because we allowed
Exactly. Anyone who came up with defund the police, come on, man. You can't. Once you defund the police, what the hell? Common sense. What do you think is going to happen?
You don't have a country anymore.
Right. You have to have a governed country.
Yes.
If you don't, it's just.
It's over.
I know. We need a larger. We need more time for this podcast.
Rich, I hope at minimum, if you'll vote for me,
I would
and at maximum, I want you to be my campaign manager.
Oh, yeah.
And don't change, man. You got to wear those clothes.
I'm not changing. Listen.
Yeah, we'll have you.
I've been wearing this.
Awesome.
I've been wearing this for how who knows.
That's the deal. We need some changes. Hey, folks, we hope you, on behalf of Rich and I, we hope you enjoyed listening to us have really just a very energized conversation. It's an important topic, but it's got to be talked about. And I'll leave you with these 2 quick points. You got to take what Rich shared with you to heart, folks, which is it's one thing to just point fingers and a lot of hot air about it. You also got to take ownership for the way things are. And I hope you'll view me as somebody who's taken ownership for it, because I'm saying I'm not doing it anymore. I'm gonna call it out when I see it. I already have a busy life. I'm getting to the age where I want to start to retire. And I'm actually thinking of running for office because I'm tired of having someone put poison on a spoon and telling me to open up and say, and enjoy it, and that it's for a good cause. Hey, everyone. This is Dr. Jeff LaCure. That's the Border Sheriff, Richard Yancey. And together, we are bros who know. Irrefutably authentic. And every week, we give you the straight truth. I also want to acknowledge the producer supreme, Michelle Hebshe, and our favorite production intern, Jack Davis, coming to us from Auburn, Massachusetts, getting it done. You guys have a great couple of weeks. Rich and I will see you in 2. Be safe.